Welcome back to the channel, guys. Yes, it's me again, Gaz, and thank you for joining us on our cruise channel. Whether you're a first-time cruiser or someone who's sailed a dozen times before, every cruise has its own story to tell. From incredible food and world-class entertainment to relaxing by the pool with a drink or waking up in a completely different destination every morning, there's always something to look forward to. On this channel, I'll be taking you along the entire journey. We'll explore ships, tour the cabins, try out restaurants, discover the ports of call, and most importantly, find out if these cruises are really worth your hard-earned money. I'll be sharing honest reviews, plenty of tips and tricks, and hopefully you'll be making the most out of your next holiday. So if you love cruising and you're thinking about booking your first cruise, or just enjoy following along with our new adventures, make sure you hit that subscribe button because there's plenty more to come. Now, let's get into this cruise adventure. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back. Yes, it's me again, Gaz from Cruising Coopers. Just want to welcome you back to a different kind of video. This one might interest some of you in relation to Royal Caribbean stocks and shares over the last 30 years. I just wanted to do a quick video on this because I found it quite astonishing when I actually realised what the history of Royal Caribbean was in relation to stocks and shares. Now, I've always heard about them. I've always thought, I wonder if I would ever consider buying stocks and shares. Now, the one benefit of having stocks and shares in Royal Caribbean stock is relation to onboard credit. You get a additional bonus when you book a cruise if you link your, I don't know whether it'd be like a stocks and shares ISA, or you get a certificate from them with a number and a promo code sent to you via your email, etc., just to state that we'll give you an extra, I don't know, it could be $50 to $200 onboard credit for having stocks and shares. So basically that has a bit of a benefit. I think this would make a really good video because it appeals to both cruising fans and investors at the same time. Most people know Royal Caribbean as a cruise line, but very few realise how incredible the investment story's been over the last 28 years. So if you think about, if you'd invested in Royal Caribbean nearly 30 years ago, you could have made life-changing money. Now, that's not a gimmick. That's not nothing that I'm making up. This is true. We're dealing with facts and figures now. So today we're going to take a look at one of the biggest comeback stories in the stock market history. From recessions to financial crashes to almost going bankrupt during COVID, Royal Caribbean didn't just survive, it came back stronger than ever. And obviously everyone can see that today, even in just the fleet operation side of things, what they're building and what they're putting on the waters. So we'll have a look at the share price from 1998 right through to 2026, which is this year. How much investors could have made, what caused the biggest crashes, and whether there's still room for stock to grow. So if you love cruising, you love investing, or you're simply just curious about this company, let's get started. So who are Royal Caribbean? Before looking at the share price, let's quickly understand what you're actually investing in. So Royal Caribbean Group isn't just Royal Caribbean International. They also own Celebrity Cruises, Silversea Cruises. They've got a 50% stake in TUI Cruises and Hapag Lloyd Cruises. Together, they operate more than 65 cruise ships, carrying millions of passengers every year. Today, the company is worth $77 billion, yes, $77 billion, making it one of the largest travel companies in the world. But it certainly wasn't always like that. Royal Caribbean first rewarded shareholders on a 2-for-1 stock split in August of 1998. Back then, shares traded between roughly $20 to $40 a share. The late 1990s were fantastic years. The economy was booming. Cruising was becoming increasingly popular. Investors enjoyed annual gains over 30% in both 1998 and 1999. Then came 2000, the dot-com bubble burst, markets collapsed. Royal Caribbean lost over 40% of its value. This will become the first major lessons for investors. Even great companies don't go up forever. So let's move on and talk more about the difficult years. The following decade was anything but easy. The industry faced the 2001 recession, obviously, sad to say, terrorism concerns after 9/11, rising fuel prices, and of course the global financial crisis in 2008. During the financial crisis, investors fled almost every travel stock. Royal Caribbean shares collapsed, and get this, below $7. So imagine you've bought at $40, watching it fall below $7. Obviously, many investors sold the stock, but history would prove those who were patient enough to stay invested and were eventually rewarded. This brings us on to the golden decade. Would you believe between 2010 and 2019, everything changed? The global economy recovered, people started travelling again, disposable incomes were increased, cruise holidays become more mainstream, and Royal Caribbean introduced larger, more innovative ships, including the Oasis class vessels, completely transformed the cruise industry. By 2017, the stock had climbed above $130 per share. This became one of the strongest decades in the company's history. It wasn't just luck. The company was growing revenue, building ships, increasing passenger numbers, and becoming more profitable every year. So imagine then, you stuck at it, you were patient at buying in at $40, you went down to $7, you still believed in the company, you stayed there, then it went up to $130. So now that brings us on to the next stage, COVID-19. When COVID-19 happened, everything stopped. In 2020, the cruise industry shut down almost overnight. Ships sat at sea, no passengers, no revenue, yet billions of dollars in costs continued. Royal Caribbean had to borrow heavily simply just to survive. Many investors questioned whether the company would ever recover. Shares eventually traded at around $35. So we got 40, down to 7, up to 130, back down to 35. So looking back now, that provided to be one of the biggest buying opportunities in the company's history. Although at the time, nobody knew if cruising would ever return. So it's a bit of a mystery there. I remember cruising just after, I had cruises booked just before the pandemic, and I cruised on September 2019 on the Explorer of the Seas for 2 weeks on an Italian Mediterranean trip. And then COVID hit just as we got back, and then all my future cruises was pretty much up in arms. Nobody knew what they was doing, and we didn't think we was ever going to get on them again, and worrying about our money, if we was going to get the money back, etc. But in the greatest comeback of history, then came the big boom. One of the greatest recoveries in modern stock market history. The demand exploded. People wanted holidays, obviously because of being off with COVID. Bookings reached record levels. Prices increased. New ships were launched. They came up with Perfect Day at Coco Cay, which was hugely popular. Icon of the Seas generated worldwide publicity. And between 2023 and 2024, Royal Caribbean shares gained well over 250% combined, eventually reaching an all-time high of $366 on average. So that is just insane. You've gone from 40 to 7 to 130, down to, what did I say it was? 35. Now, after COVID, you're back up to $366 a share. The company still trades at around 17 times the earnings, which many analysts consider reasonable given its growth. So what happens to the dividends and shareholders? Another positive for investors, Royal Caribbean. They had started repaying dividends. These stopped during COVID due to preservation of cash in the bank. But as profits returned, so did shareholders' rewards. The expected dividend yield in 2026 is around 2%. That means investors are now receiving income as well as potential share price growth. So, the main question that I'm asking you, and feel free to drop it in the comments, would you buy shares today? Now, I'm not here to tell you what to buy, and I'm not here to give anybody any financial advice. Everyone should do their own research, but here's what stands out to me. Royal Caribbean has survived multiple recessions, the financial crisis, a complete global shutdown, and every single time it happened, it recovered and continued growing. The cruise industry still has large opportunities. Ships are getting bigger, technology continues to improve, private destinations are becoming attractable in their own right, of course, and demand for cruise holidays remains incredibly strong. As both long-time Royal Caribbean cruiser and now a shareholder myself, it's financially much more viable for me to continue to invest and stay loyal to the brand. It's fascinating watching the company grow from both perspectives. But what do you think? Would you invest in Royal Caribbean, or do you think the best days are already behind it? Let me know in the comments below. If you've enjoyed today's video, please hit the like button, subscribe to Cruising Coopers, and turn on the notifications, because we've got plenty more cruise content. And now, some investment content coming up very soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Well, that's it for now, folks, for this adventure. I just want to say a genuine thank you for taking the time to watch and coming along on the journey with me. I hope this video has given you a little inspiration, a few useful ideas, or simply just a chance to escape for a while and enjoy life at sea. If you did enjoy the video and you'd like to see more, you're always welcome to subscribe and follow along. There are plenty more cruise adventures, ship tours and travel experiences to come, and I'd love to have you with me for the journey. Until next time, thank you again for watching, take care of yourselves, enjoy every adventure that comes your way, and I'll see you on the next cruise.